move right into our talk. And I just want to give thanks to Ellen, who's orchestrating behind the scenes. Thank you so much. And we get to focus today on power together. You know, the before the previous weeks, we're talking about power like the individual, becoming aware and using our power on an individual level basis. And that takes what? Awareness, trust, faith, belief. It takes all of that. It takes having a spiritual awareness and understanding and education on power. Yes, there's only one power. We talk about it all the time. The power, and we call it God or whatever name, Yahweh, walking, talking, whatever way that you, Allah, Buddha, whatever you see, the great power, oh great spirit, doesn't matter. There's only one by so many different names. We welcome it all, and we welcome the deeper understanding that that power is not just that we have that power. Yes, I am the power. Yes, on such a deep level that it is the power that has us. It is the power that makes us look like who and what we are. We like to think we are the power. Here's a wonderful quote. It says, "You must realize that this one creative power, which I am, is also the creative power which you are. For you are and I are one." This sermon hones your invisible power, page 444. He says, "Pieces of power at the heart of God." He also says that. And so it's so great to know that we are have this power available. Yes. And so there's another quote that I want to bring up. And this has to do with recognizing the power, not that's just within us, because we have to know that at first. We do have to know that, yes, I and the power are one. I and God are one. I and love are one. Love lives as me. However, you recognize the power and use the power. We're not talking about abusing the power. There are many people who do that, and we see a lot of it nowadays. Um, for some reason, people want to feel selfish with their awareness that, hey, I have some power. What can I do with it? And they do whatever they want to do. Not that it's changed throughout the eons of existence, but I think now with more access to information, people are getting an understanding that, oh, yeah, well, I do have some power. Well, but do they have the education, the spiritual knowledge and wisdom to go with it? Are we just using power haphazardly just because we have it? Yeah. Yeah. So it's so important that we get to not only empower ourselves with information, we get to empower others with information education. That's why we have classes, and we do our workshops, and we present ourselves as best we can online or whichever way that we can, so that we can help spread the word about, hey, how to use your power wisely. There was a great quote in from the comic books, from Spider-Man comics. The character Spider-Man, his regular person, Peter Parker, his uncle mentioned to him. Uncle didn't know he was Spider-Man because they always have to hide who they are for some reason. Um, he said, "With great power comes great responsibility," and who knew? That came from a comic book. How wise those creators were. With great power comes great responsibility. And each of us has a responsibility to use our power. We all have it 100%. Nobody has any less power than another. Okay. We all have it. However, what is our level of belief when it comes to using that power? It's important to know that. And listen, I'll admit freely that I was scared of using my power long before I even realized not just how to use it, but that it just felt like raw power that I could use wrongly. So I didn't want to use it. I was like, oh, let me just hide and play small and not exert myself and not fulfill my beingness. There's a acronym for power that I created, and it's going to come up. I have two acronyms. The first one is purpose, and let's just keep that up for a moment. P for purpose, O for omnipresent, W for willingness, E for eternal, R for realization. P, purpose. Once you know your purpose, now you know where to put your power. But growing up, I didn't know what purpose I had. People ask me, what do you want to be? I don't know. How could I apply power if I don't know what I'm here to be and do and get to have? So, yeah, we have to take a little time to recognize our purpose, even if it changes from time to time. We may not have the purpose throughout our whole lives. Our purpose might, hey, one moment we might be a great singer, or a singer who does wonderful things with their voice, pleases people, entertains people, heals people. Hey, that's my purpose to customer service or whatever it is. Maybe it's an athlete and they're being the best that they can be. Once we know our purpose, then we can apply our power. It has direction. It can be used to the full extent. And omnipresent, there's no place where the power is not. It's everywhere present. That's power. Okay. It's in everything, even a rock. It doesn't look like it's got any energy in it, but there are atoms in it, and in those atoms are power. Okay. And also W for willingness. You have to have the willingness. You see, the power is always willing. The power is like, use me. you know, I'm just here. I'm ready. I'm willing and able. That's the power. And then we have to match that vibration. Like, yes, I have that purpose. Now, I'm willing, and the power within me that is me is now willing to jump into action. It's eternal. E for eternal. There's no end to the power. It's like energy, also never ending, never beginning. It just is. It changes form. Energy changes form. That's why there's no death, as we sometimes are led to believe. It's eternal, this energy. It dissipates into a different form, like rain. Water changes into ice, or into rain, or a mist, or a fog, or becomes, like 90% of our body is water. So, it's eternal, this power. And everybody knows by now how powerful water can be, with the rain and the floods and the hurricanes and all that. It's like there's a lot of power and energy in that. And the realization is the most important. Realize that this power is here for our use, and it works best when we use it in a positive way. Okay. So that is one way of looking at power. How can I best use power in my life? Now, we're talking about power together. Okay. So it's very important to get that just because we have the power as one person, you wonder, well, gee, what can one person do with this power? And yeah, we can do a lot. However, we can do more together. We can. I mean, I don't know how many of you were consciously aware during the '60s or even born. Uh, that was a time when there were a lot of boycotts. That was time when people in communities came together to to uh, to form a strike against an establishment that wasn't treating people correctly. We boycotted taking a bus, like in the civil rights era. We boycotted stores who wouldn't cater to people of color, or who were charging too much just because they could get away with it. Any reason that there was to create better rights for people, there was like a boycott, and it was peaceful for the most part. And even in these days, we've had not boycotts, but marches, uh, you know, preferably peaceful marches. sit downs, things of that nature, where people come together, bring their power of their voice and the power of their presence in ways that can bring about change. And so it's really important. And I'm going to bring up a couple of slides here where we can take a look at how this power works in our lives. And we're talking about power together. And it's said even biblically, when two or more are gathered in my name, you know, that's when things begin to happen. That's when, you get to realize the power of love, the power of peace, the power of joy, the power of all of these principles that we put into action. And so this first quote, we have conscious access to a creative power, which is ready, willing, and able to respond to us constructively. Our conscious and specific use of this, and this is what's really important, our conscious and specific use of it, the power, the infinite power, the infinite truth, that's what I might call it, infinite truth, use of it is limited to our awareness or understanding of it. How much is it limited? It's up to us. If we increase our awareness of it, the infinite truth that God is all there is, that God is the power, we increase our awareness of it. Conscious awareness, we have greater access to the power. It's just waiting within us. It's like, use me. Use me. The power is saying, use me. God is saying, use me. Use the God power within you. And then when you say all things are possible, the truth, let's just back it up a minute. Let's back it up. It says, when you say all things are possible, you mean that the power which created the planets is now operating in your affair, in and through everything you do. What's the most important thing with this statement? When you say to yourself or out loud or however you do it, all things are possible, you have increased your awareness of the power within that created everything, including you. The power is you. We have to get that. I am the power. There was that cartoon called He-Man. And whenever he had to make a change, when somebody was threatening their way of life, he had to say, I am the power. And then all of a sudden he would transform into this big muscular guy, and he could do all these things. We get to do that. We can say all things are possible. We can say, yes, I am the power. I have the power. The power has me. However you need to say it, know it. Say it. Even if you don't believe it, say it. And guess what? The universe will respond, because the universe doesn't know if you don't believe it or not. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, if that's what you say, and so it is. Universe is always ready to respond with what? The power to get those things done, to make those things possible. And that's what's important to know, that we get to work together, and the more that we work together, the more we meet, the more power is exerted. Okay, so let's think on different levels about this. Well, first of all, you have your job, your job, your work, whatever it is you do, and you go to work. You're for the most part not alone. Of course, there's remote work where you're working by yourself in your own home or wherever you are, but still there are minds at work for a greater good. It's not just to get paid. There's actually a service happening. There's actually a power that is coming together from all different ways to create something to offer to the world or to a specific community. However, let's take it back another step. Think about maybe your family. That's a power unit. There are people that come together that are together to create this family structure, this family unit. We bring together. let's take it back to so-called back in the day when people lived in villages and they had to go out to get food and hunt and gather so that they could all eat. That's putting our power to use, not just for one, however, for all. It's all for one and one for all. That's how we use our power. And yes, even in today's society, you have family members that go out and work, or you maybe go to school and educate yourself so you can, in some way, empower your immediate community with what you have learned, what you have knowledge and wisdom you have gained. Okay, that's how we are using our power. So not just for marches or boycotts, but let's take look at it on such a personal level, even on the level of people who are in recovery from whatever substance or activity, whether it's gambling or overeating or sex or drugs or alcohol, whatever. Uh, Many people go to 12-step meetings or support meetings. And that is the power, they call it the power in the rooms, the power where people gather to support themselves. Many of these are self-help groups, but they can't do it alone. We need the power that comes with people desiring the same thing for themselves and, of course, for others, because you just can't do it alone. We need the help of those experienced members, people who have wisdom, who have already gone through that, and people who are going through it, to assist one another with the same goal: to live a better life, to have a better life, and to share that information, to share that knowledge, to share that wisdom. Because there's a saying that says you can't keep it unless you give it away. You know that it means you can't keep the power unless you give away the power. You can't. You must use your power. Use it. You can't just sit in a room with your energy, with your power, and expect change to occur. I mean, change is going to happen anyway. But we talked again about the conscious access to this power. I'm going to bring up another quote. It says, this is what happens to many of us. Our difficulty lies not so much in contradicting this truth as in cultivating an inner awareness, a deep spiritual realization that we are one with the presence, with all the presence and all the power that there is. It's easy to contradict it. I mean, people poo-poo, like, oh, no, that's not that. It's very easy to do that. It's much more difficult to work with ourselves from the inside, the inner awareness, the deep spiritual realization. You know what that means? Surrender. I mean, I surrendered to the power. I surrendered to that which has created everything out of itself. Oh, come on. It's like, how can anything so powerful, how could it not exist? It must exist. I can contradict it all I want. Doesn't mean that what am I using to contradict it with? I'm using power to say power doesn't exist. No, doesn't make sense. That the presence, the power in the presence in the power is ready for our use. And how dare we attempt to deny it? Okay, and this is from Ernest Holmes, The Art of Life. Now let's take a look at the next one. And it's so easy again to not want to look within, to not want to use the power within. And so this is what happens when we come together, when we put our minds and our hearts, our soul together, our spiritual awareness of truth. It says here, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed individuals can change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has. This is by Margaret Mead. This statement is used churches and centers and places where people are coming together in act for action. Never doubt that a small group, and I think, yes, thoughtful, we have to be committed. committed to using your power in a positive way. That's what changes the world. If you think about a small group compared to the whole planet, anytime you get 1,000 people together, it seems like a lot of people, but it's a small group. Yet, how powerful is it when people come together for a specific purpose and the voice can all of a sudden be magnified? One voice sounds like many, that sounds like one voice. That's powerful. That moves things, that makes change happen. And even if it's a voice like Martin Luther King Jr. or Medgar Evers or President John F. Kennedy or his brother Bobby or or any of our heroes, who were assassinated because they dared to speak up, they dared to take a stand and use their power, they to stand out and to stand up and to join others and to enroll others, to invite others, to use their power. And that's what it's about. Sometimes we don't want to make a move until we see somebody else take a stand. I'm like, oh, they're using their power in a powerful way. Well, maybe I can do that too. And there's another quote that follows very nicely with this. To inspire people, don't show them your superpowers, show them theirs. And it's attributed to Alexander Den Heyer. Where's your power? Our job is to inspire others. We teach others all in so many different ways. Yes, in this way with spiritual living, Centers for Spiritual Living. We teach people, and it doesn't matter what religion, all religions, doesn't matter. We are a philosophy for richer living, for greater living. We get to show people, hey, it doesn't matter how you pray. Pray, use your words in a positive way for positive results. Yeah, if you're wondering why life looks a certain way, listen to yourself. Listen to the words that you're not even speaking, but what are you thinking? Listen to yourself, and then listen to how you speak to yourself and to others. And like, hey, is this inspiring to others in a powerful way, positive way, or myself even? And then how can we inspire others to live to their best potential, to their use of power? Many educators, this is what they do. Our teachers, I remember, listen, I'm grateful that I learned how to tie my shoes. I was inspired watching other people walk, but I had to learn how to tie my own shoes. And then I could teach somebody else to do that. And how they can walk powerfully in their own life and in the world. And what's what we do. Each one teach one. Each one reach one. Each one teach one. And that's how we use our power. That's how we use our power to create the world that we want to see from the inside out. Are we just only focusing our power, our attention, our vision on the things that we don't like, and think that that has to be the only possibility, that's the only real thing? No, there's more to that than meets the eye. But it only works when we can inspire others to see their own power, their own light, their own life as possible. Okay, we don't tell people how to live, we or what to think. We teach people how to think and how you can live a better life. It's not about do this, do that. No, check it out. Try it for yourself. Try it on. You have your own power. Okay? You have your own power. And make the best use of it. Make the best use of what is in your power. And take the rest as it happens. This is Epictetus. Use your power. Allow for, and we teach this all the time. In your prayer work, in trusting the universe, and trusting God, and trusting life, and trusting your own power. We're not responsible for the outcome. Give it your best effort, your best thought, your best effort, your best belief, your best faith. and trust in the power. Trust in it. It's gotten you this far. Okay. And it can be even better. It is even better than we think most of the time. All right. Because sometimes our thinking we're like, oh, woe is me. And not even realizing that we have breath, that we've eaten, that we have maybe a roof over our head, or that there are people who care about us and love us, whether we think they do or not. You know, we're not concerned so much with the consequences if things don't work out the way that we powerfully positively expect. Guess what? We get to do it again. We have the power. Try it again, do it again, be it again, be the best that we can be with that power. And so that's what it is. That's what we really get to embrace, is this power. And remember, and we're going to get to this in just a moment. Let me just take this off. So again, when two or more are gathered, you're not alone. I mean, we're never alone anyway, because there's the power and the presence of life of God that is in each and every one of us. And we only feel separated because we believe more in the flesh than in the invisible spirit. Okay. We can't just see spirit or so-called see God, because we're looking for the external. We're only looking at the external. That's just evidence of the power. The real power is within. The real power is the energy. It's invisible. It gets to be used. It gets to create, okay, or uncreate, whatever the power does, however it does, And so, yes, it's up to us to recognize that. There's another acronym for power. I want to bring that second one up. Principle. There is a principle at use. It's a law. Okay. This is the law. Law is principle. Okay. So the principle is that there is a power for that has us, and we have it, because there's only one. All right. We don't want to feel a sense of separation. There is no separation. The principle is oneness. There's only one power. And that power is individualized as everything that we experience, see, touch, hear, feel, think, whatever. It doesn't matter. There's only one. We are interconnected. We don't have to seek to be connected. We are connected. We are one. And when we recognize that, omnipotence is revealed. We are all powerful. Okay, the power, as I mentioned, is ready. Use me. When we do that, not just for ourselves, because that's limited use. When we come together, when we use the power of prayer, when there's when we have prayer sessions, just escaping for the moment, around the world, where we're on the phone at the same time or on a Zoom call. People from all over the planet are coming together to pray for peace, to pray about peace, to pray about whatever it is that we desire, for safety, for whatever it is. That's the power of prayer. Okay, it's omnipotent. It's stronger than one person doing it by themselves. Willing, as I mentioned before, that power is always willing. Are we? We must be the power. We are the power, and are we as willing? And then there's empowering. This is what we get to be, to do, and to have for each other. Okay? Yes, there's power, and we empower others in how to use the power and how to let the power use us. And that's relationship. There's only one true relationship. And when we get to see the power of our relatedness, that we are one, that we are connected, that relationship means that we are that power. We get to make the change. The change, what's the change? The change is that we get to see that we are one. We get to see that we are the power. We get to see that we get to use the power. This is a time where people are voting already and preparing to vote. And what do we see? We see people who are actually abusing their power. They're, instead of talking about how can I empower you, they're talking about how I can talk bad about somebody else. So I just got to say, it's like there's got to be a better way, and there is. Let's hear about how people empower one another. Yes, you want to be in a position of using your power for all, speaking for all, acting for all. Well, then how does that empower us? Let's talk about that in a realistic and loving way. Okay, so that's my take on that. But yes, and thank you for this. This is power. Okay, and it feels good. I was scared of my power as a child, very scared. I felt like I didn't know my own strength. I didn't know the strength of my own voice. I didn't know things of that nature. And I used to shy away from having to exert my power. I didn't want to hurt anybody, or feel hurt myself, because I didn't know how to manage my power. It takes education to do that. It takes, education in our society, and hopefully, prayerfully, we get positive information on how to use our power. How to get what we learn in order to help one another on the planet. What else could our purpose be? Okay. Use our power wisely. Yes. That's what it's about. With great power comes great responsibility. I am responsible not just for myself, I'm responsible for every life on the planet. Yes. It sounds like a big task. And listen, we don't have to do it all at once. We don't have to be in a huge mass, environment of people, a small group of committed people coming together. That's what it is. That's what it takes. And that's what works. That's what creates positive, uplifting change. And that's what it's about. And a change doesn't mean there's anything wrong. We're changing our awareness from lesser to greater. Let's change. We're empowering ourselves to be able to empower others. That's change. We are creating change with our commitment to using our power in a powerful way. And so we have an affirmation, just one this time, in order to empower and enlighten ourselves for this greater information. And here it is. And so let's repeat this. Let's do it. We can do this one 3 times. And let's start now. Together, we empower each other for the greater good. I invite you to take a breath. Let's breathe into this. Take a breath. Together, we empower each other for the greater good. Let's do that one more time. Just relax into that because we are all one. It has to be together. Let's bring it in. Breathe. Together, we empower each other for the greater good. And now it is. Yes. And so please join me in this prayer, this treatment. And it's powerful because we're using our words in a powerful way. I am knowing there's only one power, and that power is all there is. It is individualized as not only us people on the planet, but each and every living thing, not only on this planet, but any other planet, any other star system, any other galaxy, any other universe, okay? Any other verse, multiverse. There's only one power. And we have use of that power, even on this small planet, a group of people with the same idea. We are invited to use our power together for the greater good. And so I am knowing that shows up in our relationships. Our relationships, when we look at it in a powerful way, when we recognize wholeness, we recognize oneness, we recognize there's only one, we recognize there, how can any harm come to us? Because we're all one. The harm that I think I'm doing to one, I'm doing to me, doing to each and every one. A drop of pollution in the ocean pollutes the whole ocean. It pollutes everything. And so we come together knowing that the power we have to bring about change must be positive. It affects our health. We have the power to heal ourselves and to heal with others. The power of thought and the power of belief, the power of faith, the power of wisdom, the education, knowing what is available to heal the physical presence, the body, to heal the mind, the soul. The spirit needs no healing. The spirit is always healthy, is always whole, perfect, and complete in, through, and as its creations. So we recognize that power. We have access to that power, consciously aware that the power is available for use. It shows up in our finances. We have the power to say yes to the greater good, to be open to receive the good. It takes power to open our hands and say, yes, I am open and ready. Thank you, God. We're using our power to be receptive and using our powers to be giving. And the more we give, the more comes to us. We say yes to knowing that the God provides a power, provides for us all that we need in order to fulfill our purpose on the planet. Yes. And so I give thanks in knowing that these words go forth in and thank you again, Tina, to manifest not just for one, but for all as one. And so I know that this truth is already spoken into word divine right action, and I simply allow it to be. I let it be. I let it go, let it be. And simply say, yes, it is so, and so it is, and now it is. Peace and blessings, each and every one. Now, how do we get to use our power, the power of prayer? We use us. We're taught, we're educated in how to use this power. We are prayer professionals, ready, willing, and able to know the truth about you and for you. And so, yes, you can contact us. We welcome all your prayer requests. And so your prayer support, you can send us an email, revrod17@gmail.com, or call 844-295-5155. Your prayer requests are kept in the strictest of confidence. And yes, we will do a prayer request, pray on it, cheat on it for 7 days. My request is that you let us know. Hey, Rev Rod, Ellen, my prayer was answered. Even before I finished typing it, it's like, yes, day 2, day 3, day 4, my prayer is answered. And after prayer, day 7, if not, get back to us. We'll continue to pray. If you're just having so much joy and it's just overwhelming, let us know. We'll pray that there is within you that much and more power to handle that joy and more. Anything less than that, most certainly use us. Okay. And also, we are grateful for your donations. Thank you so much for helping One Love be who we are and what we do and what we continue to do. And we got some great things coming up. So, in order to donate, you can go to our website, onelovecenter.org, go to PayPal, or use the Cash Me app, $OneLoveCSL. And we have affirmations of abundance that will most certainly assist you. And you don't have to do it just once. You can do it any day, every day. The affirmation of abundance is to get our minds right, in tune, in order, our mind and our hands open and heart open to receive, and so that we may give. And so let's do the affirmation of abundance. It says, money as one of many gifts of spirit is good. And as I share my offerings, I know that I am actively creating a space to receive more money and more good and more gifts. Also, I am grateful for the ability to receive and the ability to give, and for the good work that these gifts do in our center and in our world. And now it is. It is so right now. Use us, give, receive, play in the mind, in the realm of the one mind, that power. Know that you have that power. Do not fear that power. That power is for you to use, most certainly, to have a better life for good. Many people use their power for fear. Fear is not a power, has no power, unless you think you're giving it power. Okay? If you stop giving it power, fear falls flat. It's nothing to it except what you give it. No, it has nothing to give you. Now, of course, yes, there's fear of things that might terminate your physical presence. You should be fearful not to walk into a lion's cage or to an area that looks, absolutely, don't walk off a cliff. Yes, be fearful of that. That's different. Yeah, I'm talking about the things we make up in our minds and think that they're real, and then want to empower them and continue them in our lives. And maybe we had an unpleasant experience, and all of a sudden we think it's going to keep happening over and over and over again, but it only happened once. No, let that fear go. Surrender to the power of love, the power of peace, the power of God, the power of Yahweh, Jesus. I don't care what you call him. There is a powerful, powerful presence that has created everything out of itself, and that's what we're talking about. So we do have a request as well, that we are requesting a member to assist, a friend, a member, maybe somebody that you know, to assist us with our program, with our broadcast. And so you can contact us again through revrod17@gmail.com, or leave a message, 844-295-5155, to be of service. We bless you and we thank you. Okay, we are looking to start up a class and Beyond Limits. And hopefully we're going to start this week. Okay, so let's increase the numbers. I know they're Beyond Limits says it all. Beyond the limit of your use of your power. Okay, beyond limit. Move into living beyond your limiting beliefs. How much power? You have all the power. Okay, register for our class Beyond Limits. Go online, onelovecenter.org/events. Okay, it takes power to look within, to go within, to make change from within. Also, save the dates. Dia de los Muertos fundraiser celebration. Visit facebook.com/share/NHTXQ. Well, okay. That's going to be put into the comments. So you want to register there. Convention of the Americas. So this must be coming up for 2025. Awesome. I can tell you firsthand. I went and it was fantastic. It was great experiencing spiritual living, centers for spiritual living in another country, and with people who embrace it wholeheartedly. And the language difference for me wasn't so much different. And we're all about feeling. We're all about the energy. We're all about the power. And now that make a way. You want to save the date. It's going to be in the summer, and it's going to be great. I guarantee you. And I'll listen. I'll give you a money back guarantee. I mean, I don't. You're not sending the money to me. I'm just saying. You won't need to have your money back. It's well worth it. It's in a beautiful area, and you're going to fully enjoy your time there. So now's the time. Don't just save the date, plan for the date. That's how it works. You make a commitment. Yes. Um, I start putting my pennies and nickels and dimes and quarters away now. By the time it comes, I'll have my plane fare. I have everything ready. Okay. And so that's what I need to say about that. So um, we're going to close with have a closing song. However, before we do that, I do again want to thank everybody for showing up. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Akiko. So glad to have you here as well. Thank you, Tina Fista. And I can't necessarily see who else has been paying attention and giving attention and their love. Thank you. Please feel free to share this no matter when you watch this. Just share it. Click share to the public, whoever your public is, um, because there must be something that you get out of this. I know there is, okay, because I do it. I share it. I know this one thing, one nugget, one bombshell that's going to make a difference in somebody's life. So I'm using the power of my finger to share something that can empower others. Thank you so much. I'm going to have a closing prayer followed by a wonderful song. So just as I know that right where I am, the divine is, this is the true of each and every one, that we are tuned into power together. That even if we seem separate, even if we're in our own homes, wherever we are, that we have the shared mind experience. We are coming from a place of knowing the truth works for all. And the truth is it. Infinite truth that God is all there is, and the power is all there is. The power of God, the love of God, the peace of God is the power in our lives. And all we do is say yes. Go forth throughout this day and every day, knowing that, yes, I have the power and the power has me. Yes, for good, we work together for the greater good. I know this. We live it. We've all seen it in action. We know it. Let's live like we know it, and that we can inspire others to live in this way. This is the truth, absolutely operating as the truth right here, right now. Words spoken into the perfect action of the law, therefore it is so, and so it is, and now it is. Peace and blessings, beloved.